So a little while ago, Bethesda announced that it was working on a new Indiana Jones game. And obviously, with Bethesda being bought by Microsoft and being an Xbox studio now, the game is going to be Xbox exclusive. And for some reason, this confused PlayStation fanboys and made them very angry because they still can't seem to accept the fact that Bethesda is owned by Microsoft, so their games will automatically be Xbox exclusive. So now they're crying about it on Twitter because I guess they don't have anything better to do. So yeah, let's take a look.
Uncharted is better anyway, which of course PlayStation made and didn't just buy after it was established.
This Indiana Jones game is also not established or anything. It's a new game. It's based on an established franchise, I guess. But if that isn't allowed, then Spider-Man, Wolverine. If you're talking about the fact that it was made by Bethesda, who were an established studio who were then bought out by Xbox, Naughty Dog, who made Uncharted, were also a very successful established studio when they were bought out by PlayStation. But you're a fucking hypocrite, probably, like all PlayStation fanboys are, so that doesn't count. If PlayStation does it, it's okay.
Common Xbox L.
So I guess it's an L now to have exclusives, even though when Xbox didn't have exclusives, that was an L, but now that they do, they still suck. I don't know, this logic doesn't make any sense. It's an L to have exclusives. Even someone underneath him, someone replied to him asking him, okay, well, PlayStation has Spider-Man, is that an L? No, that's a W, apparently, because that's how it works, guys, okay? When PlayStation does something, it's great, but when Xbox does the exact same thing, that is bad. Hypocrisy at its finest. Before y'all start complaining, remember, Spider-Man is a PlayStation exclusive.
Sony quite literally owns the IP.
Okay, you see, this is an argument, these are arguments that PlayStation fanboys use all the time, where they'll bring up something like this, it's okay for Sony to have a Spider-Man exclusive, and it's not okay for Microsoft to have a Indiana Jones exclusive, because Sony actually owns the Spider-Man IP, and Microsoft doesn't own Indiana Jones, so therefore it should be multi-plat. That's an okay argument, right? But then when you start applying it to other things related to PlayStation, suddenly they'll flip their whole narrative. If I say right now, oh, but Final Fantasy is an IP owned by PlayStation, and those games are exclusive to Sony as well. That's they will suddenly flip the entire argument, come up with an entire new thing, because they don't have any principles, they don't have any real arguments. All they do is just emotionally defend the plastic box they bought at all cost, which is definitely incredibly fucking pathetic. Also, this pony's last name is Ellenbogen, which in my language, which I'm guessing it is Dutch because I don't see in what other language Ellenbogen would mean anything. It means elbows. My guy's last name is Elbows. You have a dumbass last name. Just wanted to point that shit out to you. Your name is fucking Elbows.
I have no idea how this game isn't going to be a clone of Tomb Raider and Uncharted.
PlayStation fanboy is struggling with the concept that a game can be anything besides a third-person action game with stealth elements and cinematic cutscenes. Now obviously we don't know what kind of game this is going to be, and it is probably very likely, I think, that it is also going to be a game like Uncharted or Tomb Raider. But I don't know, man, I don't think so, mainly because it's being made by Bethesda, and I don't really see Bethesda just going yeah, let's just get the license to make an Indiana Jones game, and then just make it exactly like Uncharted, but with Indiana Jones. That's just fucking boring. I don't see why they would do that. What's the point? But it's still funny to me that that's the first thing that PlayStation fanboys think of. It's Uncharted, because they can't think of any game that's different.
PlayStation makes their exclusives. Xbox buys multi-platform games being developed and makes them exclusive to them.
Yeah, because that's something that PlayStation has never done before. PlayStation has never paid money to From Software to keep their games exclusive to PlayStation, like Bloodborne or like Demon's Souls. And they've never paid money to Square Enix to give franchises like Final Fantasy mostly exclusive to PlayStation. This doesn't happen. These are not real things. These are Xbox propaganda, okay? the reason why all these third-party developers are putting their games exclusively on PlayStation is completely like voluntarily, because they know that PS5 is the only good platform. They're definitely not doing it because they're getting fucking paid by Sony to do it. And then PlayStation fanboys always make the argument like, oh well, Sony is very heavily involved in the development of these games and they help, fund these games, but they don't really need to. Also, so does Xbox. Xbox also funds all these games that are being made to them or for them by Bethesda and the ZeniMax Studios and all Xbox studios actually. And then there's another thing PlayStation fanboys like to say, and that's like, oh well, Xbox buys the entire studio, making all of their games exclusive, okay? Sony only just picks some of the games that the third-party developer makes and makes those exclusives. And it's like, yeah, that's true, but Sony's also purchased studios in the past, like Insomniac.
Let's be honest, based on Redfall, this will likely be shit.
Yeah, because that's how it works, right? See, Redfall was a game made by like a ZeniMax/Xbox studio, and it was bad. Therefore, every single game made by, ZeniMax/Xbox studios must be bad. Doesn't matter that the people who are making this Indiana Jones game, which apparently is Machine Gun Games, is a completely different studio than the studio that made Redfall. Because Redfall sucked, this is going to suck. You'll never see them say things, by the way, like, oh, Hi-Fi Rush was amazing, which was also a game made by like an Xbox/ZeniMax studio. So therefore this Indiana Jones game will also be... That doesn't matter. That's completely irrelevant, okay? Redfall was bad, so this game will be too. Perfect logic.
Yeah, we've known this. Xbox guys don't like third-person games though.
Okay, so at least he acknowledges the fact that it's very obvious that, a game made by a Bethesda studio is going to be Xbox exclusive because, Xbox owns ZeniMax and Bethesda. But like, okay, there are two things here I want to address. First of all, Xbox guys don't like third-person games though. That's not true, because Gears of War is one of the most popular franchises on Xbox, and that's a third-person game. And second of all, again, PlayStation fanboys being incapable of thinking of a video game that isn't a third-person action game with stealth elements and cinematic cutscenes. Like, they read Indiana Jones game and they assume immediately that it's going to be like Uncharted, because their tiny brains can't fathom gameplay that isn't that, I guess. Anyway, boys, I'm gonna wrap up the video here. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of Salt, especially after lots and lots of Salt that we got last week with the Xbox Showcase. But yeah, I got some more really good videos coming out. One about the Xbox Showcase still. I'm kind of late, I know. I might even be milking it a little bit, but it's okay. It's gonna be fun. So if you want to see more content like this, please like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.